Okay, welcome to the deep dive. This is where we, you know, pull back the curtain a bit on the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
We explore how data, marketing, and, well, the content you love, how it's all interconnected.
Yeah, it's a fascinating intersection. Always changing.
Totally. And if you're intrigued by, say, what makes a movie really hit big or a song just explode,
Or why you suddenly feel the urge to binge an entire series, right?
exactly, then today's deep dive is definitely for you. We're looking at some recent trends that really highlight these dynamics.
Absolutely. It's a great time to look, too. I mean, take the Memorial Day 2025 box office. That gives us some immediate clues.
Like Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, its strong performance
Yeah.
really underlines the power of, well, nostalgia
Mm.
and established IPs, brand recognition.
Right. And then you've got the flip side, almost, with Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Precisely. That shows how a huge franchise can pivot its branding, strategically to stay relevant after all this time.
Plus, Final Destination Bloodlines is still hanging in there.
Which just reminds you, sometimes a strong core concept, if it's done well, has legs.
Yeah.
Incredible staying power.
Okay, so let's really get into that. Because it's not just about them being good stories, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about how they got our attention, how they resonated, and that's really the core question for today, for this deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
What do these recent successes, on the big screen, plus what we're seeing in streaming and music, what does it all tell us about this evolving relationship between marketing, data, and how audiences like you connect with entertainment?
Exactly. And for this exploration, we've pulled together a really interesting mix of info.
Like what?
Well, the hard numbers, obviously box office returns, streaming data from the week ending April 20th, but also the softer side.
Social buzz, brand stuff.
Yeah, social buzz and some really innovative brand partnerships that are popping up.
Okay, so our mission today, get past the headlines, really pull out the key insights into how data and marketing are actively shaping the entertainment we're all consuming.
Let's do it. Starting with those theatrical releases seems right. The marketing behind them.
Yeah, because the impact of marketing,
Yeah.
it's huge, right?
Yeah.
What are the numbers suggesting?
Well, current data suggests that, effective marketing can be responsible for upwards of 30, even 40% of a film's projected global box office.
Wow, 30 to 40%. That's massive.
It's a huge factor for studios, a massive consideration.
And it's interesting how the approaches differ so much. You take a massive event film like Mission Impossible.
Right. Traditional media still seems king there.
That global press tour, Tom Cruise basically being everywhere.
He's like a one-man media channel.
Yeah. And that kind of campaign, that high-profile push, they expect it to add, what, over $100 million?
That's the projection. His personal brand is just so intertwined with that franchise. His efforts generate incredible reach, incredible impact.
Okay, but contrast that with something like Megan 2.0.
Yeah.
Very different beast.
Totally different playbook. Much more digital first. They're going straight to that younger, maybe more niche audience online where they live.
Makes sense. And then the big family movies, like Lilo and Stitch, or thinking ahead, maybe How to Train Your Dragon. That feels like a mix.
It really seemed to be a balanced approach. You need that high-reach, paid media, sure, for awareness. Get the name out there.
But then
you layer in the emotional stuff, trailers that pull at the heartstrings, maybe influencer activations, things that create that, I have to see this feeling.
so broad awareness first, then deeper, more personal connection to actually drive ticket sales.
Precisely. Build awareness, then convert specific segments. And, for you listening, especially if you're in this industry, it just highlights how critical it is to understand your marketing ROI.
Right, knowing what actually works.
Yeah, which channels, which strategies are really moving the needle for different kinds of projects.
Absolutely essential. Okay, let's pivot now. Let's talk streaming. What's grabbing attention there, and how does it, connect back to the cinemas?
Okay, so the streaming data, week ending April 20th, gives us a really useful snapshot. Netflix had some big global hits,
Like,
Nana's and Bad Influence. Nana's hit #1 for movies in, over 25 countries.
wow.
And Bad Influence had even wider reach, did really well across Latin America especially. So that tells you something about global appeal, different tastes.
And on the series side, what was making waves?
Forever was a huge global performer, topped the series charts in hours viewed, consistently top 10 in over 50 countries.
That's impressive reach.
It is. And also, the Danish drama Secrets We Keep did exceptionally well, particularly
Wow.
across Europe, shows that strong appetite for compelling non-English stuff.
Which is always interesting to see. Any other standouts?
Well, interestingly, Black Mirror had its highest weekly viewership in the US during that time.
Really? An older show, relatively speaking.
Yeah, shows the staying power of a good anthology, right? And Ransom Canyon debuted pretty strong in the US too, got a lot of initial buzz.
And you still see the old reliables doing well, like Grey's Anatomy, Bluey.
Oh yeah, they might not be new, but they have that dedicated, locked-in audience. Consistent performers.
And Moana, too. How did that do on streaming?
It wasn't like record-shattering, but it's showing steady performance. Consistent engagement in that kids and family space.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me, the connection, that halo effect you mentioned.
Exactly, theatrical marketing boosting streaming. As the new Lilo and Stitch approached, guess what happened on Disney+.
Views for the original shot up.
Big time. The original
Right.
film, the sequel, big surge in viewership. We saw the same thing with the Mission Impossible back catalog on Paramount Plus and Hulu.
And Final Destination.
Yep, notable jump on Max. These older movies were climbing the charts again in lots of countries.
So a hit movie isn't just about the opening weekend anymore. It's like a giant ad for the whole franchise on streaming.
It absolutely acts as a powerful marketing driver for the existing IP on those platforms. One success feeds another right within the franchise ecosystem.
So what does that tell us? About us as viewers and about platform strategy.
Well, it really underscores how interconnected everything is now. A good theatrical campaign can reignite interest in a whole brand.
Makes you go back and watch the old ones.
Exactly. And for the platforms, it shows the immense value of having that deep library of recognizable IP. They can leverage these cross-platform moments for, sustained engagement. Keep people subscribed.
Okay, fascinating. Let's shift gears slightly. Music. The Spotify charts are always like a pulse check, right? What's happening there?
Yeah, always interesting. There's been some movement at the very top globally.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Warren's Ordinary actually knocked Die with a Smile. The Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars track off the #1 spot. And that song had been there for a while.
Wow, okay. And the top artists? Still the usual suspects.
Pretty much. Bad Bunny and Taylor Swift are still dominating as the most streamed artists globally. But The Weeknd has actually overtaken Drake for #3.
Interesting. So it's always shifting, always dynamic.
Constantly. Driven by what listeners are choosing, new releases, artist activity, all of it.
And it's not just the songs creating buzz, right? The actors involved in these big projects, or even ones with stuff coming up, they get a lot of attention too. This actor buzz index idea. Who's trending?
Right now, Isabela Merced is really generating a lot of heat.
From The Last of Us.
Yeah, the positive early talk about her role in Season 2 is huge. It positions her right at the center of a major Gen Z series for HBO.
Plus.
Bro, she's Hawkgirl and Superman.
Exactly. So you've got this massive TV show buzz and a key role in a huge DC movie. That's a powerful combination. Creates serious buzz.
Definitely someone to watch. Who else is getting attention?
Elizabeth Dulau. Her role in Andor Season 2 is bigger, and she's getting great notices for it, bringing this real intensity. And she's publicly talked about wanting to lead an action franchise, which has definitely got people talking, especially like Tomb Raider fans.
Ooh, interesting casting speculation there. And what about Lorraine Bracco? She seems to be having a moment. Absolutely. Her role in Nanas put her back in the spotlight in a really charming way. And then you have the 25th anniversary of The Sopranos recently.
Right, bringing her iconic role back into focus.
Exactly. So a whole new generation might be discovering her work. It's a great example of how current projects and nostalgia can combine to generate fresh buzz around an actor's whole career.
And you can't talk buzz without mentioning Tom Cruise.
Never. Unsurprisingly, the release of what's being called the Mission Impossible finale. It's just a massive cinematic event.
And he is the event in many ways.
Totally. His relentless promotion, the stunts. He keeps himself firmly in the spotlight. And the idea this might be his last time as Ethan Hunt, that just ramps up the must-see factor. It's a masterclass, really, in eventizing yourself and a franchise.
We're also seeing buzz around others, too, right? Like Denise Gough from Andor and The Stolen Girl.
Yes, definitely. She's having a strong cross-platform moment. Genevieve O'Reilly, too, for Andor, evolving that legacy character.
And Keanu Reeves is always kind of buzzing, isn't he? With Ballerina coming up.
He has that evergreen presence, doesn't he? Huge international pre-awareness. And Linda Cardellini, returning to horror with the Crystal Lake series.
Oh, right. The Friday the 13th prequel.
Yeah, people are excited about that.
Yeah.
Genre versatility, returning to roots. It seems like it's a mix, being in big franchises, getting critical acclaim, or even just a beloved actor doing something familiar but exciting again.
So how does all this actor buzz? How does it connect back to the marketing side? to audience trends.
Oh, it's gold for marketing teams. Pure gold. It gives them a built-in audience interest, talking points ready to go.
Easier to promote.
Much easier. Knowing who's hot and why lets them target campaigns better, tap into existing fan bases. It also gives insight into what kinds of characters, what performances are really clicking with audiences right now. That can inform future casting, future projects.
Right, right. Okay, let's talk collaborations, brand partnerships. It feels like things are getting really creative there.
They really are. Some very clever stuff happening. Take Visa and Ubisoft.
The gaming integration.
Yeah, embedding Visa into Ubisoft games, offering exclusive rewards. That's smart. Taps right into that massive gaming community, links real money to digital fun.
And I mean, Crocs and Pokémon, centered on Blastoise versus Charizard. Who saw that coming?
Huh. It's kind of the stroke of genius, isn't it? It hits the nostalgia button hard for Pokémon fans.
Oh, yeah.
It plays directly into that classic fan rivalry, Blastoise or Charizard.
Yeah.
And the limited edition angle creates that collector frenzy, appeals to, like, everyone from Gen Z trendsetters to OG Pokémon fans.
The Oreo and Selena Gomez one, too. Music, pop culture, snacks.
Seamless blend. That special packaging, the limited cookies. It makes the product feel like merch, almost. Something desirable beyond just being a cookie.
Yeah, totally.
And Stanley, the Tumblr company, with Post Malone, again, hitting that young adult festival-goer vibe, crossover appeal.
And Disney with hand sanitizer. Touchland.
Sounds weird, but it's smart. Premium scented hand sanitizer with Disney IP. Caps right into that self-care TikTok beauty trend. Puts characters in a new, maybe unexpected context.
It's definitely unexpected. Like Superman partnering with Milk-Bone dog biscuits.
Okay, that one is pretty clever cross-category thinking. Makes Superman feel accessible, all-American. Maybe adds a bit of fun nostalgia to buying dog treats.
And Lego is always good at this. The Simpsons Krusty Burger set.
Pure nostalgia fuel for millennials and families. Perfect for collectors, perfect for people with fond memories of the show. Cultural relevance.
So what's the big picture here? What are all these different, sometimes weird collaborations trying to do?
Well, there are a few core strategies, I think. Definitely leveraging nostalgia, connecting with those established audiences.
Tapping into fandoms.
For sure. Harnessing that built-in passion. And cross-promoting, right? Using one platform or product type to boost another. Reaching wider demographics.
Creating more immersive brand experiences, too, maybe.
Exactly. Making the brand part of the entertainment, not just an ad alongside it.
This all feels connected to that bigger trend we're seeing everywhere. IP expansion, constantly digging into the archives. I mean, a whack-a-mole movie. Really?
Huh. Yeah. It's definitely a sign of the post-Barbie times, isn't it? Studios are looking at everything in their IP library, no matter how unconventional it seems.
Looking for the next surprise hit.
Exactly. It shows there's room for both nostalgia plays and totally new ideas. Or maybe nostalgic ideas spun in new ways.
And Netflix grabbing Sesame Street and Peppa Pig rights seems like a major play in that IP space, too.
Oh, absolutely huge. Those are incredibly valuable, globally recognized, long-lasting brands.
Safe bets, almost.
Very safe bets with massive existing libraries and new episodes coming. It's a huge investment by Netflix to really solidify their position in kids and family entertainment. Content that attracts and keeps viewers across generations, potentially for years.
It really feels like revisiting and reimagining established IP is just a dominant strategy right now.
Well, in a super crowded market, it often feels like a safer bet for studios, right?
Yeah.
Familiarity helps cut through the noise.
Less risk than starting completely fresh.
Potentially. These IPs often come with fans already built in, a level of awareness that brand new things have to fight hard to achieve.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's try and crystallize the key takeaways. What should we really remember from this discussion?
Okay, I think firstly, strategic marketing is just non-negotiable for theatrical success. And the type of marketing really needs to fit the film.
Right. No one size fits all.
Exactly. Secondly, streaming engagement is diverse, and it's clearly influenced by what's happening theatrically.
Yep.
That cross-platform synergy is real and valuable. Thirdly, that artist and actor buzz. It's like real-time audience data.
Yeah.
Incredibly useful for marketing, for casting, for understanding what's resonating.
And finally,
Finally, those brand collaborations are getting really creative. It shows how brands are finding new ways to embed themselves within the entertainment ecosystem, not just advertise around it.
and the big picture, the thread tying it all together.
It's that data and marketing aren't just, supporting players anymore. They're actively shaping what succeeds, how things evolved,
Yeah.
driving the bus in some ways.
It's a really dynamic interplay, constantly changing, directly impacting what we all watch and listen to, what captures our attention.
Precisely, what becomes part of the cultural conversation.
So thinking about all these trends we've talked about, the nostalgia wave, the cross-platform boosts, these wild collaborations, what do you think might be the next really unexpected intersection of data, marketing, and entertainment that grabs us?
Hmm.
Like, what forgotten IP is sitting on a shelf somewhere just waiting for its whack-a-mole moment? It definitely gives you something to ponder.
It really does. And we encourage you, listening, to keep watching these trends, maybe even share what you notice, what you predict. The entertainment world keeps shifting, and understanding these forces, well, that's what looking behind the curtain is all about.